Welcome to this video where we will be discussing the GDP growth of two of the world's largest economies, India and China. Over the past few years, India has been closing the gap with China in terms of GDP growth, and there is much speculation about what the future holds. In this video, we will explore the factors that are driving economic growth in both countries and make predictions about what their GDPs will look like by 2030. China's economic growth over the past few decades has been nothing short of remarkable. In the early 1990s, China's GDP was less than one-fifth of the United States' GDP. However, by 2021, China's economy had grown to become the second largest in the world, with a GDP of over $16 trillion. There are several factors that have contributed to China's economic growth, including 1. Massive investments in infrastructure, including high-speed rail, airports, and highways. 2. A focus on manufacturing and exporting goods to other countries. 3. A large and skilled workforce. 4. A centralized government that has been able to implement policies and reforms quickly and efficiently. India's economy has also been growing rapidly over the past few years. In fact, in 2020, India's economy surpassed that of the United Kingdom to become the fifth largest economy in the world. There are several factors that have contributed to India's economic growth, including 1. A large and growing population, which provides a ready market for goods and services. 2. A skilled workforce, particularly in the IT and service sectors. 3. A growing middle class that is fueling consumer spending. 4. An entrepreneurial spirit that is driving innovation and growth in startups. So what does the future hold for India and China's GDPs? According to several economic forecasts, India's economy is expected to continue growing at a rapid pace over the next decade. The IMF predicts that India's GDP will grow by 8.5% in 2021 and 6.9% in 2022. By 2030, India's GDP is projected to be around $16.5 trillion. On the other hand, China's economic growth is expected to slow down over the next decade. The IMF predicts that China's GDP will grow by 8.1% in 2021 and 5.7% in 2022. By 2030, China's GDP is projected to be around $32 trillion. While these projections suggest that China's economy will remain significantly larger than India's economy by 2030, it's worth noting that India's economy is expected to grow at a much faster pace. This suggests that India has the potential to close the gap with China in the long run. Of course, there are several key challenges that both India and China will need to overcome in order to sustain economic growth over the next decade. Some of the key challenges facing both countries include 1. Environmental degradation, particularly air pollution and climate change. 2. Rising inequality, particularly between urban and rural areas. 3. Aging populations, which will put pressure on pension systems and healthcare. 4. Tensions with other countries, particularly the United States, which could impact trade and investment. In conclusion, the economic growth of China and India is a fascinating topic with significant implications for both countries and the rest of the world. While China's economy is currently much larger than India's GDP is expected to grow at a faster pace over the coming years. Both countries face significant challenges in sustaining their economic growth, including environmental concerns, inequality, and geopolitical tensions. However, despite these challenges, both countries have demonstrated resilience and adaptability, and it will be fascinating to see how they evolve in the coming years. It is likely that both countries will continue to shape the global economic landscape and impact the lives of their citizens and the rest of the world in significant ways. As we have seen, there are several factors driving economic growth in both countries, including large and skilled workforces, entrepreneurial spirit, and investment in infrastructure and technology. However, it is important to note that GDP is just one measure of economic success and does not necessarily translate into better living standards for all citizens. In the end, it is crucial to take a nuanced approach when examining the economic growth of these two countries, considering both the opportunities and challenges they face. By doing so, we can gain a deeper understanding of the complex factors driving economic growth in China and India, and their impact on the rest of the world.